Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys a Ride, and welcome to our CarTech how-to video on the 2023 Cadillac LYRIQ. Today, I'll be covering the driver's information and infotainment screens. I'll do a general overview, show you how to access information, and do a deep dive. Let's get started.
Today, we're working with our friends at Snell Motors in beautiful Mankato, Minnesota.
Okay, well, first of all, this is just fun to sit and take a look at. It's a 33-inch OLED screen, one continuous screen. It's divided into three areas. So on the far left, you've got, under the word gauge, you've got actually a touch screen right there with several options. And then you've got the driver's screen, which goes all the way over to where you see Channel 12 Pop Rocks. That's where the driver's screen ends. And then to the right of that is your normal infotainment screen, but it is all under one piece of glass. So to control this, you're actually not going to use the steering wheel. So you're going to go over on the far left, and you can see where it says gauge, energy, map, clean, and then you have these three icons on the bottom. Okay, so this is like a speedometer icon, and this is the gauge view right now. If I click on energy, it's going to switch, and you get this screen. Okay, now these little lines here would light up when you were driving. All right, so I'm going to take you to the map screen, but you're not actually going to see anything. This is a brand new car. Of course, it's not mine. It hasn't been registered to an owner. So I cannot show you, but the screen goes from my right finger over to my left finger. This would all be navigation map. Okay, and then I'm going to go down to what's called a clean screen. It's like a calm screen. It just basically condenses all your information, gets rid of all the stuff on the right and the left, and gives you a simpler look. All right, now, at the bottom next to the speedometer icon, you have an icon that looks like a road with a dashed line in the middle. If I click that, you have current trip, and then you can swipe trip 1, and you can click and hold this to reset it. Trip 2, a calm screen, so there's nothing here. And then if I swipe again, well, I can't, I've got to go backwards, but there's 4 screens. Now, if you want to control your headlights, you press right here, and you can turn them off, have them on auto, turn on just the parking lights, physically turn on your low beams. Okay, so that is all right there. And that's how you're going to control that part of the screen. Now, I'm going to go back here to gauges for a minute. You can change the information on the left side of the screen, but you do need to go into your vehicle info app on the infotainment screen. You can now see I've got tire pressure. I go over to energy info. You can see energy usage. Let's see, energy efficiency. Okay, so I can get energy efficiency. And you can keep doing this. There's little plus signs on the car, and I'll show you that again when we get to the infotainment screen. But that you can then send that to that side. So you can customize a bunch of information that's on there, but you can't do it from the steering wheel. Okay, on the far right side, you have media. So I can use up and down button on the steering wheel, and I can change the presets right here. When I get to where I want to go, I just click it, and there it is. I can use the up and down arrows on the lower part of the steering wheel to just go through them like this, where I don't see a list. Okay. And then, of course, you have volume control on the steering wheel as well. All right, now that's how you get through favorites. But if you want to do like sources, you have a musical note icon on the right side of your steering wheel. Just press that. And then you can use this to toggle through your different sources. Okay, if you want to make a phone call, you're going to click on the phone icon. And of course, there's no phone connected, but this is where that would show up. Right? And then the middle, of course, you got your digital speedometer. You have a range, and then you've got a percentage gauge there. Shows your battery charge. Now be aware that blue line is going to go down. It just says 100% because 100% is actually would have been up here. Okay, so it's gone down. The gauge will always say 100%. Doesn't mean your battery's at 100%. You need to look at where the blue line is to tell. All right, and then, of course, when you're driving, if you're using power, this gauge goes up in red. If you're doing regen, it'll come down in here and be, I can't remember from the drive. It's either blue or green, but it shows up right there. This car does have Super Cruise, and that button is on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. And if you have Adaptive Cruise engaged, you can just press that, and if your highway has Super Cruise, it should engage. All right, you've also got a cruise control off button with the X. You've got a cruise control on. You've got a heated steering wheel button. And then to set cruise, you push the button up here, you push it up, and then, of course, you can resume or deaccelerate while you're in cruise. Now, if you are in cruise, interesting thing, and you give it just a little nudge to the first indent, that's 1 mile or 1 kilometer per hour up or down. However, there are 2 indents. If you push it all the way, it'll increase by 5 miles per hour or decrease by 5 miles per hour or kilometers per hour. So interesting, cool feature on the resume and set and increase and decrease button right there. Okay, so but that is it for the driver's information screen. And next we're going to move over to the infotainment screen. Moving over to the right side of the 33-inch screen, and again, this is an OLED screen. So this is your infotainment screen, and it does stretch way down to where the clock is. It doesn't cut off as most do. It actually stretches all the way over to the corner, which is really neat. I think if I click on Google Maps, the app, the maps are not signed into yet, but there you can see how far the screen goes. Okay. So the way this is set up is this is the home screen. Yeah, and you do have a home button, and you have a tray down here that are shortcuts, and you can rearrange what shows up down here except for the home button. In this screen you have, of course, media here, and then you've got Google Maps right here. However, you can click the pencil, and you can say I want audio there instead. Okay. Now I can click here and I can say I want the Google Assistant there. Okay, so you can do some customization, not a lot, but you can do some things. But it's nice to have that split screen. Okay, I'm going to swipe over because I got 3 dots or dashes. And here you're going to have 2 pages of apps that you can go through that you're familiar with seeing in cars. Down here, like I said, this is your customizable shortcut area. So for instance, let's say you want the Play Store. Just click and hold, and you can come down here and it will replace one of those. Okay, so that's how it works. It's very simple. Park Assistant if you want that. Okay. One of the things that I did is earlier I took and I moved the camera button from being way over here to being down here. So I could just click this, okay, and then the front camera would come on. Okay, so that I like that. Now I think within here you can change, yes, see, you can change the order of icons as well. So that's how you're going to customize the screen. First of all, I want to show you how I got the left side of the driver's information screen to change that information. So what I did is I went into this app called Vehicle Info. Okay, now under overview here, it shows the energy efficiency. However, I can twist the car and I get other plus signs. Okay, so if I click on a particular plus sign, I showed you tire pressure. Notice this little arrow. Anytime it has that arrow, you can throw it over to the driver screen. So I click here, and I just go add to driver display. Continue. Okay, and then I can also remove it from the display if I don't want it. Click the X, spin the car around. Let's see what else you have. Okay, this is going to be tire pressure for other tires. So I'm going to go back to this side. And I've got another plus sign here. That's at energy efficiency. And again, I just click on that little arrow, add to driver display. And then I had one more I did not show you. So let's go here, get this plus sign. This one is energy usage. And you can click here and you can add that to the driver display as well. So that's how I threw that stuff over to the left side of the speedometer on the driver's gauge, driver's screen. You can also just look at it here. You can look at tire pressure right here. You can look at energy info if you want. Okay, you can get some nice gauges right here. Same thing with energy efficiency. You get a little bit of a graph. Okay, so let's go back here. Down below in the center console, you do have the only physical back button. You also have controls for media, phone, navigation, home, and then you've got a nice rotary dial that you can use to go through the apps if you prefer to control it from there. So now I'm going to go back to home a minute, and let's just go to audio. So one of the quick things we like to show is how to tune the radio, how to save a favorite, and how to adjust sound. So right now we are in Sirius XM. So I can just go channel by channel, and I can also just swipe. It's really nice. Okay, so let's just do this one here. Okay. I can also click here and go by categories. Notice there's double list of categories. And I can just click through sports, news, talk, etc. Okay. Then I can also use the steering wheel controls to go through at least the favorites. All right. So now let's go up here to this little. There we go. There is going to be our sources. Okay. Go back here for a minute. Now, this is all your presets right here. So right now I'm on channel 37, and I can scroll down, and I eventually will find some that say hold to set, but you could overwrite any one of these. Okay, I'm just going to go here and say hold to set. And there we go. Now my favorite is set. Okay, now you want to change sound. Go to the gear wheel, go to sound, and then over here you can set the equalizer. And of course you can click drag, but you gotta grab that little line right there. Okay, and you got, of course, mid-range. You got treble, you got fade and balance. And you can reset it right there. Then you got sound mode. So right now it's set to the rear. We can change it to the front. You can adjust, or you can click and drag this, the amount of surround sound that you have. Okay, this does have, well, oodles of speakers. Let's put it that way. It has an AKG sound system in here, which is beautiful. You've got speakers in the headrests in the driver and passenger front seats. All right, that's how you adjust all that. You do have adaptive volume, which you can turn on or off. And you can manage your radio favorites here, where you can get rid of one. You just click the trash can. You can also reorganize the order of them. So you can get your mostly used ones up front, so you see them first. I'll go back here. All right, I'm going to just show you quickly that AM and FM look almost exactly the same here. So we're going to go to AM. Same setup. The only difference is here, you can actually punch in a station. You can see your favorites right there. And then you can tune with these buttons. I am going to go back here. I'll show you FM quickly. Same setup. And again, you just click the gear wheel to get to the sound. Okay? You have a few more options under here if you want to turn those on. All right, let's go back to home. You have your Google Assistant, so it hasn't been activated yet, but you can change temperature, plot navigation, change your audio. All that stuff via voice command with Google Assistant. You do have the Play Store. And in the Play Store, I don't think we're going to see it yet because we have to sign in. Yep. But you're going to see, it won't look exactly like the Play Store on your Android device because the apps are geared for the car. And as time progresses, you'll see more and more apps added. All right, climate control. We have got mostly physical controls down in just below the infotainment screen. But as we commonly see, there is no sync button because this is dual zone climate control. So right now, they're set individually. So to do that, you're going to have to go into climate. And then you're going to have to hit sync. And then when I do the drivers, then adjust the passengers as well. Okay, over here, of course, you can adjust which way the wind blows. You can have them all on if you want, any combination thereof. Okay, you got your fan speed, and of course, you got your temperatures for both driver and passenger. All right, I go into the gear settings. You can change the auto fan speed. Okay, which that means when you put the air conditioning into auto mode, you can have the fan speed run low, medium, or high. If you do remote startup, you can have your cooled and ventilated seats on. You can do heated seats on startup and auto defog. And the car will automatically sense the ambient temperature and turn on the appropriate thing. Okay, let's go back here. This does have auto park assist. I won't show you that, but basically it's going to help park the car for you. Okay. It does have a built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot. You can set that up here. You can also just hook to your home's Wi-Fi if you want. It does have automatic updates. These updates will not install while you're driving, so they will download while you're driving, but they won't actually install until you're parked and connected to a signal. You do have to have an active data plan or a Wi-Fi connection to download an update. So let's say, you don't have that. Well, you can always hook to your home Wi-Fi when you park the car, and then it will automatically do it. All right, let's swipe over. I'll come back to settings. I already showed you vehicle info. Of course, this is all electric, so you got a whole menu selection on what to do with charging. So you can do a home charge location. You can set up notifications here. DC fast charge, okay, you can, I'm not going to start that process, but you can condition your battery for a fast charge. Cabin preconditioning, you can set the car to a certain temperature before you drive. Might want to plug it in though while you're doing that so you don't take up battery power. Preferred charging times, you can turn that on or off and set those there. You've got a menu button. You can create a schedule for charging, so you can do it when the cost isn't so high. You can sign into your Cadillac account right here, and if you have the Cadillac mobile app, you can also do lots from that. Okay, and then here, maximize regenerative braking by charging to 80%. Okay, so it says that's necessary if your route includes steep mountains. So you can click learn more there if you want to figure out more about that. Okay, so let's go back to home. Ambient lighting. Well, this has a whole lot here. We can link it to the drive mode, okay, which is cool. Or we can go to custom. Okay, we can say customize colors, and the accent can be one. And then the glow can be a different one. You can't really see them changing here. This one up here is the upper ones. This one down here seems to be the lower ones down here. But you can change that, and then you can change the brightness level of each of those. Right? All right. Go back here, and you can turn ambient lighting just off completely if you want. All right, let's go back to home. Camera. Well, it's got a nice camera system. The only thing that's a little disappointing is that it doesn't use this full, beautiful half of the screen. It's a good image. You do have a 360 view. I can switch it to normal, And then I'm going to see my front camera, of course. If I put it into reverse, you'll get the backup camera. You do have dynamic swivel guidelines in both views, which is very nice. Okay. And then I'm going to just put it back into park here. Cancel that. Go back into camera. Okay. And then, of course, you can have both be the overhead. Okay. Now, if you want to see the side, then you can see both sides. This is your left front tire, your right front tire. So a nice camera. I just wish it used more of the screen. All right, so next we're going to go to phone, and we're actually going to connect a phone. So you want to click on Manage Phones, Add a Phone, and then I'm going to go into my iPhone, go to my Bluetooth settings, scroll to the bottom of my list. It says Cadillac _ 3055 on my phone and here, so I should be good. The 6-digit number it just threw up on the screen on both devices is good. I'm going to hit pair on both screens. Do I want to allow contacts and favorites to sync? I'm going to click don't allow, but if this is your car, of course, you would want to do that. All right. I'm going to hit enable right here to enable Apple CarPlay. And on my phone, I'm going to click use CarPlay. Here we go. So now if I go back to home, okay, and let's see. If I scroll backwards, do I have, yes, now I have an Apple CarPlay icon. Okay, look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I love, and it goes all the way to the corner. That just happens to be the colors. These are your most recently used items. This gives you a split screen. These are navigation commands, media, and of course, calendar. Okay, if I click on any one of those, I get the Google Maps. Now, you notice that Google Maps is not full screen in this particular view. And that's just the way it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete my iPhone and hook up an Android, just to be sure I don't have any conflict with another phone. So what I'm going to do in this case, I'm not going to go back to phone because that just brings me back to Apple CarPlay. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to go to connections. I'm going to go to phones. I'm going to go to options, and I'm going to go forget this phone. Okay, now I'm going to take my Android phone, and I'm going to go to my Bluetooth settings. I'm going to click on here, this, and I'm looking for, on my phone, I'm looking for Cadillac 3055. So I'm going to hit scan, and there it shows up on my phone. So I'm going to click it. It's pairing. That number is the same. You may ask, why did they give you that number? Well, if you're around several different Bluetooth devices at once, you know, there is a chance it would try to connect to something else. So, all right, I'm going to hit pair on my phone. And right now it's connecting. I want to enable Android Auto. Okay. Hit continue. And it should be starting up. And here we go. In Android Auto, you've got a split screen just like you do in Apple CarPlay. It just looks different. And then you've got the most commonly used things on your far left. You do have this little dice. And what that does is moves this screen over and gives you all your apps. And instead of being located left to right like Apple CarPlay, these are up and down. Okay, but you notice here, I'm going to go to Google Maps. Oh, it did not give me the full screen. So it does limit how big of the screen you get in Android Auto as well. But that's okay. You at least get, it's still a nice size screen. So that's how to hook up Apple CarPlay. It's how to hook up Android Auto, and just sort of the basics of what they do. Now, I'm going to press the home button here. Okay, now you notice I have Android Auto, whereas before I had a Apple CarPlay icon. Okay, so that's what's changed right there. So then under controls here, you see these are more like shapes. These are all just circles. The ones that are circles are just one click. This turns on your interior dome lights. Okay, power window lockout. Okay, these ones you actually go into some settings. For instance, doors and windows. Child safety locks on. Okay. I have to do, I'm not authorized to do that yet because I haven't, it's not my vehicle. But you could turn that on or off from there when you buy the vehicle. Drive and park. You can have, under trash control, you can have ESC off and trash control off both, or you can have them both on. Okay. And then auto park assistant on. And then you can hit begin to start parking. Universal remotes, that's where you can add a remote for your garage. Then under lights here, you can turn the set the dome light to always be off or on, auto high beams to be off or on, and then you have headlight controls over here, even though you have them over on the left side of the driver's information screen. Sort of a redundant area to put them in. Okay, so that's there. If I click on the gear wheel, I can customize the drive mode. I can customize steering, braking, acceleration, motor sound, normal, or relaxed. Okay. And then you have my mode, which you can then customize. Okay, teen driver sets up a geofence, gives you alerts if your teen driver leaves the area, limits the volume on the stereo, that kind of stuff. Make sure all the safety features stay on. You have a reset reminder. This one's just a simple click. Buckle to drive. If you turn that on, the car won't move unless your seatbelt's buckled. Cadillac actually gives you a choice as to have that on or off. Super Cruise lane change. You can have that to be automatic, turn signal activated, or off. All right, so these all work the same way, okay? Let me go back here. Let's just show you some things in the drive mode. So you got Tour. You got a little different graphic here. Sport. Snow and ice. And then whatever your My Mode is set to. Okay. There is a slight difference in the dashboard when you go from Tour to Sport. Basically, it just kind of moves a few things around. Not a huge change. Okay. Now, let's go back to home. You can sign up for the My Cadillac app if you want. You can go to podcasts. You can go to Google News. So I'm going to go back here for a minute, and I'm going to go to settings. We've already looked at connections. This is where you can see which phones are connected, your Wi-Fi networks, etc. Okay. Under a vehicle, we've already seen this in another spot, but I'm going to go to collision detection systems. And again, I'm going to show you two of these, and then the rest all work the same way. So, for instance, alert type. You want safety alert seat vibrations, which your seat vibrates, or you just want beeps? Okay, so right now it's set to stay to seat there. So, but when you buy the car and it's registered to you, you'll be able to change that. The other thing that they have is just a simple on or off. So anything that's got a green dot is a simple on or off. The rest of them, you just go into the menu. Very self-explanatory as to what you can adjust. All right. Of course, you can set date and time there, but typically you can just click on the clock. Yep, and it takes you right to the place where you can set that. You got a lot of sounds in the vehicle here. We got maximum volume at startup. If you don't like that, you can turn that down. So if you get in the car and the radio starts up and it's just like, I don't like that, you can adjust it right there. Okay, you can, of course, set up user profiles right here, and then it'll just sign in when it'll recognize your key fob, it can recognize your phone, and it will reset everything like your seats, the steering wheel, your media favorites, all that kind of stuff, your sound adjustments, equalization, bass, treble, all to what you had set it at. Okay, someone else gets to drive the car, they have a different key fob, it sets it to their preferences if they're set up as a user. Under system here, you can change the language. Okay, you can change the units of measure, and you can, of course, reset things. So you have quite a few things that you can do reset. So though that's where that is in case things aren't working quite the way you think they should. All right. Okay, and that is it for the driver's information screen and the infotainment screen on the brand new 2023 Cadillac LYRIQ. Thanks for watching.